I think we are live. But in case we're not, I want to quickly say, nothing I will say in this stream is financial advice. I will never make guarantees of profit. Nothing I say here should be replicated. I'm just sharing my own journey here in the crypto market. And that's about it, right? No financial advice, just informative, just education, sometimes, mostly just for fun, right? No guarantees of profit are made here. Everything is just my own opinion. I gotta quickly state that because, well, we have an issue, ladies and gentlemen. As I told y'all a few days ago, well, I told y'all my stream got taken down, right? So the problem is, I've seen a lot of people right now in the crypto space whose videos, whose streams are also being taken down. And it's a scary thing because if it happens a few times, your channel is gone. And the problem is, you do not know exactly why it's being taken down. So since they say it's harmful and dangerous content, I'm thinking, you know what? If I really make it clear, nothing is financial advice. Anything I say here is just for my own, right? Maybe that helps, but I honestly do not think so. Which is why I said before, please, if you can take a few minutes, maybe 1 minute out of your day, help me out by just tagging YouTube creators or Team YouTube. Maybe they can just, look at it again, see the decision they made, and reinstate the stream. I don't care about that stream, by the way. It's not like I need to have it. It's just that right now we have a strike on the channel. If I get another one, I cannot upload for a week. If I get one more, I cannot upload for 2 weeks. And a third one, your channel is deleted. That would obviously be sad. But again, the problem is, I do not even know why I got the first one now. So a second and a third one could come at any time. So I want to kind of hit it at the source. If I can, I would prefer if YouTube just takes a look and takes the strike away. But my appeal got rejected. They say, hey, this is harmful and dangerous, but it's just a stream talking about Brad Garlinghouse in the Senate and a little bit about the XRP price. So again, if you have a minute or two, I would recommend, ask you to head over to X and maybe help me out by just tagging YouTube or YouTube creators, because they didn't even respond, right? Normally they do at least respond and say, hey, we're looking into it. They didn't do that this time. So again, I would really appreciate it, just because otherwise I'm afraid this channel is eventually going to get taken out. Somebody says it's leverage. You guys don't get that. First of all, any single stock, any single forex, any single trading, matter of fact, even the television talks about it. So it can't be that. All right, there's many things that people often think that are the cause, but every one of those things is allowed. It's all fine. All right, what you can't do is like promise things, talk about some words I don't want to say here right now. Just do not trigger any words. But trust me when I say I've read over every single one of the rules so freaking often, right? The videos I make, they're clean. That's not the point. So I'm thinking at least I got to make another secondary backup channel, because even though, right, you might say, oh, Dusty, blah, 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 blah. What if you mess up on the... Because the problem, by the way, is I don't even mind if they take the channel down. That's one thing. But you can never make a new one. All right, let me say it differently. I do mind, but I could get back from it. You can never make a new one. And I think they would just automatically recognize my face if I make a new one. But if you have a backup channel, the nice thing is that if you get a strike on one, at least you can go on another one and potentially, make sure you don't get a third strike, because that's the big issue. Anyway, sorry guys. Sorry for starting the stream off like this. Obviously, it's not what I prefer. I prefer to talk about some of the crazy crypto market right now because, man, things are crazy, all right? I am just enjoying every single second of this. I am watching these coins, just sipping my coffee here real quick. Just enjoying this because it is wild. But then I realize if something bad happens, we won't be able to share it together. So, yeah, man, it is really, really stressful, though, those strikes and things of that sort. Just want to quickly mention that in case you're wondering what's going on. But yeah, so as it currently stands, crypto market, absolutely crazy. We opened a few new trades earlier today, right? Again, nothing I state in this video is financial advice. These are just my trades. You decide whatever you do on your own. And we opened them today. And the funniest thing is, I already said, I'm opening this a bit crazy high, but I do expect that the market will actually move upwards further. And if not, well, we're opening them with just small amounts so we can add more if the market comes crumbling down. And funny fact, look at this. We opened IOTA, Hyperliquid, Dogecoin, TRX, and ETH. All of these, and they're doing pretty good right now. Again, don't look at the results on 1 day, 2 days, all that. People like to take a look at how things are performing over a very short amount of time. But I really think you should take a look at these things over a few month time span, just like we saw with the XLM bot here, which was at a loss most of the time, just like we've seen with the XRP bot, which has doubled now in a few months. Because again, the beauty of the bots is, if you just want to open a long, it's not that hard just without any other. You could do this on any platform, right? Just opening a long. The nice thing about what we're doing here is that it's automatically buying and selling for the most part. And again, you can do everything manually. You can do everything without leverage. That's not the point. Leverage just makes you have a little bit more free capital. But then on the opposite side, you are paying funding fees and you do have to watch out for your trades more. But trust me when I say it's not about the leverage. That has nothing to do with it. All that it does, that I care about at least, if we open one of them up, let's just quickly go to the ones I opened a few hours ago. Let's go to IOTA here. All that it does is, again, whenever the price goes down lower, it buys. Whenever it goes up, it sells. You could do this all manually. You could do this on another platform, even this platform, no leverage. I'm just explaining what it's doing. And again, right now, because things are so volatile, it's able to cash out good chunks. Again, the numbers are pretty wild when you really start breaking them down. We opened this one last night, and it's already up $30. To you, $30 might look like nothing, but to me, that is amazing for just letting it run. Anyway, so I see a few comments right here. So one of the comments here says it took 5 years to build. No, it took, actually, I've had this channel since 2011. And Ernesio says, other YouTubers had to send a video to YouTube and explain why they are wrong for the strike. They don't even strike your video because they've watched it. You just got reported by somebody. I don't know. YouTube strikes are absolutely random. It is a bit random. So I don't know, not know exactly. Ado also had something happen to him. I saw it. And by the way, if you're wondering what this Bing is because I'm talking to the YouTube chat. But that chat usually does not really fix anything. But I'm trying, you know. What else? What else can you do? Let's see. Ask them for a formal reason. They don't really respond to that. Regardless, so as it currently stands in the market, there is. Let's see. I should maybe try to turn that blink off. There we go. So if you're wondering what's happening in the market right now, we are seeing a move that has not been seen in at least a few months. And right now, a lot of people are wondering, is this able to continue on? Are we able to continue these gains further, or is this the end? Well, I normally, in a normal spot, would be watching all those major resistances. So Algorand at 25 cents, Stellar at 50 cents, Hbar at 25 cents, you know, just the logical round numbers. But oh, so they're saying they were gonna share what they found out about the video. So let's see back. Let's give it a little watch. And the same thing for IOTA, 25 cents, just all the major psychological barriers. But in this case here, I think it is most interesting to watch whatever Bitcoin is doing and kind of step away from alts on their own a little bit. I mean, for the most part, I've taken a look today at a lot of different of the most important, I guess, most interesting Twitter guys. Most of them are stating that basically what happened to Bitcoin over the past few months, right, the past few years, we kind of feel as if something similar of that sort is going to be replicated here for the alts. Again, it's going to be swingy, but for the most part, mostly just upwards. And so how can we take a lot of advantage of that? Well, if we take a look at whatever is happening to Bitcoin, right now we just broke out of the previous range at about $111,000, $112,000. We broke out above that. Right now we are moving further. We basically are seeing it from the perspective of, well, if you take a look at every single time Bitcoin started a bit of a rally, if you had bought every single time into something like that, most of the time, at least in my own humble opinion, it would have worked out for you. And that's exactly the strategy I described yesterday when I was talking about the alts, right? If you buy into every single breakout, and I'm not talking about just any single random one, specifically the more crucial ones or the heavier green candles, almost always would you be right. Theoretically, you'd always be right after a longer amount of time, but even on a short time, you tend to almost always be right because the market usually trends further. Now, if we kind of make a distinction between alts and Bitcoin, again, I don't think there's anybody out there watching this video right now that does not think Bitcoin still has a further future ahead of it, meaning that it's not going to go up further into the future. Just like how it's saying the same story over the S&P, I think most people watching this right now do expect the S&P to trade further upwards. Right? I think it's just a logical expectation. But the question always becomes, do we think altcoins will outperform? And as at this point, again, where I'd usually... Okay, so the YouTube chat, if you're wondering, all they said is, hey, let me share with you what I found. Upon investigation, I found that the enforcement action on the channel has already been appealed, and a human re-evaluated your content and determined that it does violate the community guidelines. Sorry. Anyway, I already knew that, so nothing new right there. Regardless, right now, this is, for example, the Tron chart, right? Looking into this, many might say, Dusty, this is the moment where you sell, right, at this resistance point. And I do get where you're coming from. But then again, looking at the history of it, if we'd bought into any single one of these major rallies, the camera's a bit stuck, it would have actually worked out pretty well for us. There's only a few times here where we would have been wrecked for a little bit of time. But generally speaking, we like to buy into rallies because you have the probability of getting one of these monstrous type of moves, especially when the rest of the market is good. And right now, most of the prominent players are saying, you know what, this is the moment where Bitcoin finally was able to break up from the range. Take a look back at it, just for fun, right? We look back. Let's say this was the top for Bitcoin. The moment it was able to break out is right here, and you can see what the rally was able to do. Right now, we're basically guessing the same thing, that the moment it was able to break out from this, see what the rally is going to do. But we can take this further a few more times. Let's just say we take this as the Bitcoin high point. You see the moment it was able to break out, see what it was able to do. And if you just keep looking back at that, every single time Bitcoin made a pretty crazy high, right? Take a look at this high point. The moment that Bitcoin was able to take it out, you would have gotten wrecked once, but again, this was not really a crazy rally breakout. It was actually a rally up until resistance and was blocked. The moment it was able to break out, see what it was able to do. So really, once you start extrapolating this, and the underlying narrative is bullish, because again, this is where the market mostly was trending downwards, but again, this was a different time. We expected this to be the bearish season, right? Right now, we expect it to be the bull season, and all these different confirmations are showing that the highest likelihood of what's here to happen is upwards. Again, you can't go against it. It's a valid strategy to go against the mainstream move, to make a massive short right here and make a ton of schmeckles. But again, following my own strategy, it is not wise to go against the mainstream. Why? Because you tend to be wrong. You tend to not be that good at what you're predicting to be able to go against the stream of the market. So Bus is a good question here. He says, hey Dusty, please explain the difference between, example, investing $200 without leverage and investing 100 times 2 and 100 margin. Is it the same? Cheers. Yes, it's the same. The difference, there's a few key differences. The key difference is if you put 200 in with no leverage, right? There's no liquidation. If you put 100 in times 2, there is a liquidation point because the price has to go down 50%, and times 2, that's 100%. That means the $100 you put in is gone. Now, again, you could, theoretically speaking, have more money in the account if it's, for example, cross, or if you actually add something like margin, in this case, very much possible as well. By adding margin, you can actually save yourself from liquidation. And so the biggest difference is with the 200 times 1, so basically no leverage at all, you have to lock up the full 200. With the 100 times 2, you only have to lock up the 100. With the other 100 as potential, you can move that around. You can put in a different trade at the same time. With the only counter being that if the price moves down 50% really quickly, here you might get wrecked, whereas with the other one you can't. But the benefit again is that you can basically make, if you only had $100, you can make it act like more. So again, the whole promise there, the whole idea, the whole premise, I should say, is that you can make less money work for more while keeping some more money free that you can still put in, I guess, in the time of an emergency, in a bad time. A lot of you guys are saying crash. I'm focused on too many things at once. So essentially, it's the same. A $200 position is a $200 position. How much of a collateral you put, if you put $100, $7, or $200, right? That just might mean you have different capitals free, and that might just mean that at some point, again, if the price moves down, you might get liquidated. But if you had enough money in your account anyway, it is all the same. Just on one you pay funding fees, and one you don't pay that. But on the opposite side, on the one you have more free capital, and the other one you don't. You guys saying decent size correction. You want to know a fun thing? I'm looking at the Bitcoin chart, and I don't even realize it, right? You guys are saying, crash, Dusty, look, Dusty, look. Just for fun. Take a look at what you're seeing right in front of you. Do we really consider this a crash? Just fun. Just for fun to think about. Let's take a look. So over the last hour, how much have we come down? Ooh, look at that. We've gone down almost 2-3%. Sheesh. Somebody says huge ETH crash, drop from 2980 to 2940. Sheesh. Look at that. Oh, massive. 2% down. Let's take a look at it on the 12 hours. Yep, massive crash we're seeing right now. Damn, guys. Wow. Yep, on the daily. Yep, massive crash we're seeing right now. On the weekly. Yep. Nah, this is crazy what's going on right now, guys. Whoa. Yep. Ethereum is not having a good time, huh? I'm joking. Ethereum here, there's not... Why are you guys saying the sky is falling? So again, though, to kind of get back to the point, it is kind of nice that our strategy does account for this. Anyway, so let's quickly do a little poll. Who is scared here? Who's excited? Let's for fun see this right now. Who in the chat right now is happy about the market? Who is scared here of what's about to happen? I mean, it is a Sunday. We will make ourselves potentially the highest Bitcoin close ever. And for a couple of other coins, fun fact, we also might make ourselves a new high, which is quite interesting when you think about it. But it does make me wonder. Let's see here. All right. And sorry, guys, if you're wondering why am I typing like a madman, I'm still trying to contact the YouTube support, which thus far has been very unsuccessful. And once more, I just got to quickly plug it one more time. If you've got a minute free or a few seconds, please head over to my post over on Twitter. Right. I'll retweet it one more time for y'all under repost and repost it again. It should be on top of my Twitter. And please help me tag YouTube creators and Team YouTube. Maybe that way they'll see it. Maybe that way they'll put the video of the live stream back. Because if I make a lot of noise, maybe they'll have to respond, right? At least. I don't think so. But maybe if you guys really help out, it's going to work. I mean, if I keep saying eventually we'll get to a freaking million views, they should say something. But not that many people are actually commenting, which is why I'm asking y'all right now. If you could help, would be greatly appreciated. If you do not want to, no worries. At least I tried. Magni says, happy for Sunday. About 6 hour time, usually it rises. Okay, let's see real quick. So if we take a look, let's see if anybody's scared. This is it now. Anyone think a good entry to enter back to XLM, 42 cents, or is that too low? You know the funny thing about XLM? It's gone on such an astronomical rally in such a short amount of time that even I am in the middle here as to what to do. Right? I never have this issue. But right now, I'm like, my XLM position has gone so crazy, so quickly, that I'm like, what? You see, I even texted one of my friends, like, should I just, compound it? Because we put 10K in each seed, it's at 25, right? I'm like, should I just put it back in the machine? Because it's done so well that I kind of want to capitalize on it by just kind of taking it all out. But then on the opposite side, I'm thinking, man, sometimes when something's winning so much, it's better to just not touch it, not mess around with it too much and just let it be. Then again, on the opposite side, it also depends on your goals, right? We 3.5x'd it. To some extent, I'm thinking I should just take this out and run because we've done so well. But on the opposite side, I'm thinking XLM is so low. It's up a lot, sure. But if we take a look at XLM following the Bitcoin chart, I mean, we talked about the breakout right there. Right now, there's still a lot of room to go back to the December 2024 levels. Again, many coins are doing good, but they're not doing that good in comparison to where they were a few months ago. Let's see here. If the live stream is glitching, guys, it's probably because I'm in a hotel again, and the Wi-Fi is a bit mediocre. Okay, let's see here. Johnny says, scared of what? I'm excited. I don't think there's really many people that are happy. Okay, Eric is scared for a drop right there. Incredibly excited. Grant says, I'm excited for the end of the coming week. Excited, happy just getting started. Golden era, changing the new era of internet. Happy market, never scared. Okay, Randy, you're an interesting one. Never scared, huh? Listen, it's a good day, but we have to not seen a breakout. Jake says, anyone thinking of a good entry? This is the one we talked about before. Anybody thinking of a good entry back into XLM? Well, looking at it from a Bitcoin perspective, just for fun, let's take a look, right? So it broke out, and the best opportunity lied at about 285 Satoshi. Right now we're at almost 400. Looking at it though, there are a few interesting resistances. Let's sketch them out here. So we have ourselves the interesting one right here, which we just got rejected at. Obviously there's one important one roughly at about 500 Satoshi, and then we've got ourselves peak, which is basically around the 650 marks, just what we were able to hit, right? Arguably slightly lower at 600, debatable, right? Depending on a different time frame. But right now you can see, if we're looking at this, for XLM, basically anything below this is still a dip. Now again, if you'd like to buy, again, at major dips, we can look back at where the price rejected at multiple times in the recent history. For example, just looking at this, it actually only got 2 strikes. This is not a very, very strong level. Zoom out further. No. I think the stronger levels lie even lower, around here, around the 350 Satoshi mark for XLM versus Bitcoin, that is. But so relatively, we are still up a lot, almost any really solid entry. We're pretty high. Then again, following the major resistances, if we take a look at what XLM was able to do earlier in the year, in beginning of 2025 or end of 2024, like I said, we are actually still quite low. Just to get back to that previous top is how much? It's plus 66% from here. And that's again what we saw last year. We are not, in my own humble opinion, that high just quite yet. And this is the funny thing. I am highly convinced, and this is not financial advice. I will never give you financial advice. Every single thing I say in these videos is just my opinion, my strategy. That's it. All right. What I'm thinking is, if you get a little bit cuckoo, a little bit crazy, and actually bank on the idea that the market will most likely move upwards throughout the next few weeks and months. And again, this is not financial advice, right? But my strategies, I'll explain one more time, are just, if the market moves down hard, we get a good correction, we buy in harder. I think it just, generally speaking, works really, really well. The only thing you got to think about for yourself really, really well is, when are you satisfied? And how long do you reinvest for? For example, again, I could comp out right now, and this would be pretty crazy because we take it from 10 to 35K, right? But all of a sudden, our entry price is also significantly higher. We have to play around a bit more with the extra margin for the liquidation price there. But generally speaking there, if you think the market's going to move up hard, you can do it. But it's also going to look less cool, because right now this is a freaking achievement. All of a sudden then we put 35K in and the total profit is 0. So it also depends on what you like looking at. But also, at the end of the day, let me quickly see here. Many people will look at whatever I opened yesterday, last night, for Dogecoin, because it was pretty high of a price. Look at Hype and think, oh, that's way too high. You're buying at an all-time high. Oh, at IOTA, you're buying at high points again, local high points. Why are you doing that? I'll remind you one more time that these are all longer-term strategies. The whole core concept is, I want to take advantage of the volatility of all these different assets with, again, minimal downside, because one winner takes out almost any one of your losses right there, which again is the nice part about having multiple different coins. XLM was one of my worst performers. Other coins were basically paying for all this. But then after a while, all of a sudden, XLM also decided to go for a breakout. And with the strategy we've got, the nice thing is, it tends to basically pay for itself after a while. Here again is his results of it. Always been at a loss until all of a sudden it started going crazy because XLM doubled in the span of like nothing. But again, that's all part of the strategy. It's not a short-term thing if you're playing this game. And even if you're completely wrong, It turns out you're almost always right over longer term because bull market, right? It's hard to lose when the market's primarily green. All right, let's see. All right, what's the asset you guys are more excited about than anything else? Let's see here for fun. Ronald says, scared if I have to sell XRP. What's so good about XLM? So if you really want to go into the specifics about any one coin, let me tell you this. No coin is that much better than another one. From the angle that if you're talking about tech, they're all different. Every single coin has some benefits. Some coins are really crappy, but a lot of coins in the top tier, they all have some good perks. Now the question is, in my opinion, not what makes the coin that good. Because that's, again, where you're basically trying to buy it for value. You're trying to buy it because you think that as of this point, it is undervalued for some metrics. All I care about is how good has the market been treating it, and how well is it likely to do in the future based on how well it's been being treated. It's, again, a momentum strategy, but that's because I think that's just the easiest to do in bull markets. It's way harder to research everything and find out about, oh, this one should actually be undervalued because way too much work, way too much. And also, you still might misprice it because at the end of the day, we do not know what the foundation is thinking of. Maybe they stop with their marketing moves. Maybe they're going to push a crazy marketing move. All those things will also determine whether or not, the undervaluedness actually comes out and it retrieves it. With XLM, for example, we don't really know exactly what caused this move upwards all of a sudden to happen. All we know is the moment we saw it break out, right? The moment you saw XLM break out from this range, if you just bought in, and again, I'm saying if, this is a hypothetical, not financial advice. If we just buy into the breakout, it tends to work out quite nicely, especially what I've just shown you with Bitcoin. Every single time it breaks out, let me quickly show you again, breaks out from the range. If you go in hard, historically, it's always worked out. At least this bull run has the past couple of months. That's also because we're at an all-time high, but also because most people think, oh, a high is where you sell at, which is one strategy, but that's mostly for people that try to buy low. Most people don't buy low. They buy quite high, with the idea of selling even higher. And that's also because that works as one of the ultimate best strategies. And again, it's very counterintuitive, but most people make money buying high, selling higher than buying low, selling high. Because again, at the one, you're speculating on when the market's going to turn around, which is slightly different, by the way, than just buying a dip, because that essentially means you already had some, you're buying lower to lower your average price to, again, where you can sell higher. But essentially, most of the time, that also meant you also probably bought quite high. For most people, they bought at some point in the past, right? And they want to get themselves a higher allocation. They want to get themselves more, even though prices might be up from where they originally bought, meaning you are buying high, essentially. You might not be buying below your original buy-in price. But I don't think that's a bad thing. Again, it's always a risk-to-reward game. And I think the risk is, you could say pretty high. I don't really think so. I think for the most part, the reward versus risk is still pretty good. So let's see here. 𝗬𝗁𝘂. Let's see here. 𝗬𝗁𝘂 did explain what is special with XRP, and just that is enough for you to buy if you understand how important that is. My counter to it would be that somebody can make a video about any one of the coins in the entire crypto list and explain why it's so good, why it's so important, why it has good potential. I can name a theory for almost any single coin. As a matter of fact, I can name a profitable strategy for almost any single coin. The problem is, you do not know exactly when this will happen, your theory. You do not know exactly if your theory would just be invalidated based on the market shitting on it. I mean, you could have had your entire theory based on XRP in 2021. Then the lawsuit came, right? All of a sudden, all your plans were left in the water, which is why diversification is key, in my humble opinion. You could have been really, really bearish on XLM because the price went down all this way. And it's basically always acted like XRP's little brother. And all of a sudden, the last few weeks, it's outperformed XRP by double the margin. So all of a sudden, it would have been better to go for XLM than XRP. And if you were always thinking, no, it's going to follow XRP, you would have been wrong. So there comes my theory of, well, I just think easiest in markets like this is you look at whatever is working best, expect it to work better even further, unless something invalidates that. Then again, one more thing I'll say. Bull markets is where people get stupid. Most biggest mistakes I can think of, well, by the way, on the stream right now. We've had about 2.5 people stop on by, say hi. We've only had about 150 likes. Now again, I want you to understand, if you're watching this right now, right now, I'm looking you dead in the eye right now, all right? If you're watching this right now, you're not getting anything for pressing that like button. I'm just telling you honestly. Me to you, I'm not giving you anything. Not a single nothing. But I do appreciate it. So, if you wanted to get to your quota today of good deeds, this could be one of them. You're getting nothing in return. Absolutely zero. I'm telling you right now, straight to the point. But you can help me out. So, if you feel like doing something like that today, you can. And maybe good things will happen to you. Also, I just remembered that I was talking to YouTube chat. I know this is important to you, and I understand that this is not what you're expecting. Can you try to check if you will still be able to send an appeal? Interesting. Let's see here. He said smash the like button if you're lagging still. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Anyway, lads. Dusty, one of the few crypto bros I still follow. Big up. Nice, nice, nice. Sell it, Dusty. What are we selling? Again, guys, a lot of y'all are asking. But as of this point still, right, we've got this $850,000 XRP trade. It's up $140,000. I still do not think that this is the end for it, though. I still, as of this point, don't think that this is a good point to get out. I still think it's kind of minimal. I still, honestly, as of this point, still think this trade will be up at least $850,000. But I can't make any guarantees. I still just think so, based on the fact that the market still is kind of just warming up, right? Bitcoin's at 120. I still, as of this point, think 120 is not that high in the grand scheme of things. But also, if you had bought every single time Bitcoin broke out, it tends to work out pretty freaking nicely. And again, not a financial advisor, but that's what I've got in the back of my head. Rario says futures opening. Don says we're still early. Retail ain't even there yet. Load up heavily for the next few weeks. Yeah, another thing to keep in mind is when retail does come in hard, the market's obviously going to shift significantly harder. But then again, retail doesn't have as much an effect as the main institutions do, right? So that's again the opposite side of that one. Peter says lots of things have not all-time high'd. True, solid point. Then again, Bitcoin is at an all-time high though. So if your portfolio is not doing that good, realize that Bitcoin is at an all-time high, but many alts are not. And what usually follows after Bitcoin makes an all-time high? Usually it's a pretty crazy time for every single altcoin. But no guarantees, obviously. When ETH hit 8K, pandemonium. You know what the funny thing is about ETH? Every single time I thought, I'm going to sell it, I'm going to get rid of it, it goes on a bit of a rally. But the funny thing is, ETH is never the best performer anymore. Like, it used to, in the previous cycle, be that coin that led everything else to go crazy. But this time around, it seems like every other coin is leading ETH forward. And I'm kind of thinking, from a risk-reward perspective, ETH is already so high up in market cap, it's already so large that the gain potential is quite little, and ETH is more a play for people that want, one of the top tier cryptos they can enter with significant bags and still make a pretty good return on, based on the fact that it's still lower than Bitcoin by, it's 1/8 of the value of Bitcoin or something like that. But I think for most of the newbies, I don't think ETH is really the play. I think, again, from a risk-reward perspective, the probability of ETH doing well, I think, is really, really high, right? But I think it's equally high for many other coins down there, and I think almost any single one of them can do better numbers than ETH. But theoretically, ETH was at 4,500 when Bitcoin was at 70. Right now, Bitcoin's at 120, so let's say it's almost doubled, and ETH is like it's like down 33%. Troy says retail brings more hype and eyes to crypto. Not many people care that Ripple has a stablecoin. I feel like this is still good entry if your coins are not all-time high. Well, at the end of the day, if your coin is not at an all-time high, theoretically speaking, it's still a dip. That's my thoughts on the matter still. And this is also what CZ, the CEO of Binance, said a while back, that if you think about it, if it's not at the highest point, it's still pretty much a dip. Hey boys, where's everybody watching from today? I see Thug says, respect from Portugal, Dusty. Got a crypto 4 years ago and learned a lot from you. Thank you. Appreciate that, man. Thank you for the nice words. Where you guys are watching from? We got Thug from Portugal. Where's the rest watching from? Who we got in the chat today? We have Chile. Oh, amazing. Chile is one of my favorite countries I've been, man. It was beautiful. Did you guys see my post a few days ago about in the mountains? It was in Chile. And man, do I love that, man. That was such a beautiful country. Everywhere I've been thus far in Chile then. Denmark, New Zealand, London, KSA, I'm not sure, Render Fetch. Toronto, Canada, Netherlands, 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓 New York City, Malta, Ireland, brother. Ireland. Washington State, Southeast England. What is that? Regina Sa. Netherlands, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏𝗧𝗬. Brisbane, Baltimore, Tampa, Tennessee, Western Australia. Western Australia, is that a thing? Saudi Arabia, Seattle, ME. That's supposed to be Massachusetts, maybe. South Africa, Turkey. Hey, Turkey. Hold on. Send us an email. California, Oregon. Oh, send us an email. Portugal. Portuguese. Francis from South Africa. Nice. Philippines. All right. Man, we got a pretty diversified. Hey, Bus. Look at him. He's the number one. The Dutch power. Can you tell us how to use your bots if possible? Please, if you're watching one of these videos and you're ever thinking, or streams, you're ever thinking, hey, how do I do something? What I highly suggest you do is take a look at the platform and see. Or take a look at my channel and see. A few days ago, I made a full-on tutorial about my bots, like in-depth, 50 minutes, diving into every single detail of it. But the core principle is, if I am opening a position, I'm just telling you the core principle of my trading strategy for the past few years. I want to buy many assets. That's one, base. I want to buy in as low as possible. But I only want to do so when the market turns green, which is now. Since I do not know if the price is going to go up or down soon, because again, it's a iffy market, all we do is we buy in and act accordingly if the price does move down. We just add. Why? Well, because if I'm not buying in, maybe the market moves up every single day. A good example, I have a perfect example, matter of fact. If we take a look at my ETH trade, here we go. If we take a look at this ETH trade, I bought into this when the market was up 20% in a day. A lot of people must have looked at it and think, oh, I'm stupid. But all of a sudden now it's doubled again in the last 6 days or so. But that's because from the moment it went up 20% in a day, from 1,700 to 2,100 in like a snap, it went up just more and more and more. And I would have regretted if I had not bought in. And my point there being that very often is just worth it to get myself a position. Again, this is for me, not for you. I'm not your financial advisor. And then just add accordingly. XLM, I bought in. It was a stupid buy. It was down instantly for months. When the price was down so much, I decided to double up. I DCA'd, right? Which again, the bot is doing on its own, but I wanted to really double it up, like stack it. And now it's my best performing bot because we were able to do that. Again, I bought this at a really bad time, but it turns out that over a few month time span, it was a really good time. And because you do not know that up front, all we can do is act afterwards. You know, after whatever happens. We just got to man, I'm hearing a lot of police outside. Matter of fact, I want to see what this is all about. Let me see. Give me a second, boys. Okay, we will not know exactly who is being arrested or what exactly is happening. All we know is I'm hearing a freaking 1,000 police cars right now. Now, I gotta check again. Quickly taking my phone to film something. Give me a second to film this. I did not know exactly what just happened, but there was I don't know, like let's say 40 police cars or something like that, and no, like a few buses, 40 of those motor guys. I don't know. All right, I was thinking, how can I take the stream, but there's too many moving parts for me to do that, so I couldn't. Just quickly, I do not want to show you what it looks like. Actually, maybe it's not smart. Yeah, it's like a lot of buses, a lot of police, motorbikes. I don't know. Maybe it's like a football team that's going by or something. Or maybe this is just how the military works. Anyway, interesting. What's his room number? Somebody says, what's his room number? Time to check up on him. Maybe it was, we always used to make jokes that is Gary Gels taking us down, Like all of a sudden you get a little, FBI, open up! It could be we're just talking about our crypto coins, just enjoying, and all of a sudden you see like a little knee in my neck or something like that. Would be pretty funny. I mean, it would not be funny, but you get my drift, right? I would not find it funny, but if I was you, I'd probably find it pretty hilarious. I guess you have to be a little bit sadistic to like that, but you get my drift, right? I'm just enjoying life, thinking, talking my stupid nonsense. Funny times. Anyway, so talking about the market, because it is still quite an important day to talk about the market. Brother, you gotta quickly explain to me how to pronounce your name, because Anyway, ADA didn't do enough buy hard. A lot of coins have not really popped off just quite yet. I mean, if you're taking a look at the top list, there's coins like XLM, which are up 85% throughout the week. And then there's 𝗬𝗎, Cardano, all those that are like 20% up. And fun fact, when you take a look at this, right? If we take a look at my 𝗬𝗎 bot, the funniest part about it, even ADA, is that they're actually still down. So if you, theoretically speaking, are entering right now, you'd, theoretically speaking, get a better entry than me. It's just because I doubled down at the bottom that we're up tremendously. But I'm not sure if I did so for 𝗬𝗎 as well. Yeah, I did. But you can see, we opened it at 366. We bought in later because the price went down. And that's why our average is lower. But you can see, otherwise we'd still be down right now. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Gary trying to come back to haunt you. Yeah, it's kind of funny that all those characters, Gary Gensler, Jay Clayton, Jerome Powell soon probably as well, they're all leaving. In the sense that I remember from a lot of these guys when they came up, we were all excited when Gary Gensler was going to... Oh, you guys are saying audio is cutting up. We good? Test. Let me see. For me, it says that the stream has been mediocre at best. Are you guys realizing something? Realizing something, but it's happening slowly but surely. I'm not sure if you guys see what's happening right now. It's interesting to say the least. Really slowly. I have to, yeah, my camera is falling down. Well, I guess I could just make a stream like this. Oh, it's going to focus on the camera then. Maybe I should. Well, it's going to focus on the microphone if I do that. Let me put this back up. All right. Let's put this bad boy up there. There we go. All right, there we go. That's nicer. Never had so much lag on your stream. I'm seeing it. It's 7.5%, it says. I think that's also why the viewership is all over the place, because a lot of people just can't handle this. But it's internet, right? Every hotel is really, really different. And this one seems to wreck us. But maybe I'm leaving tomorrow. Maybe I'll leave you the day after. We'll see in a second. Yeah, because if the internet's not good, I always like to just quickly leave again. Obviously, that's what life in a hotel gets you. Someone have nightmares about Freddy Krueger. Dusty have nightmares about Gary Gensler. Man, Gary Gensler was such an interesting journey. But actually, the main reason I wanted to open the stream was actually get you guys' thoughts. Because I've been looking at XLM, HBAR, and all these, and I'm thinking they've been doing well. And the funny thing is, if you really start breaking it down, and you take a look at the top gainers of the week, right? XLM is one of them, HBAR is one of them, Algo is one of them, IOTA is one of them. Those are usually my favorite coins. Cardano, ADA, and XRP, from that angle, are kind of crappy right now. Like, XDC is way higher than XRP. How is that a thing? The last utility run, back in November of 2024, all of a sudden, those coins all went on a crazy run as well. But this time around, like I said before, XLM and Hedera and Algorand are all going on a massive run, being the top gainers except for some memes. But XRP, Cardano, they're being left behind here. It's quite interesting to me. So it really, from that angle, feels like they're quite undervalued yet, just for this little season where all of a sudden these coins are pumping. But on the opposite side, I kind of feel as if XLM and HBAR also went down more recently, so they've just kind of caught up again. Which is the funny thing when you say there's two main investment roads. One is the, like I said before, the value, thinking, hey, based on this should be undervalued, etc., etc. And the other one is based on momentum. From any angle, though, I still think these are quite cheap. Would I still, if I had zero enter now, I would probably do that. Again, this is not financial advice; these are my thoughts. But then from another angle, and this is also crucial, we are buying at some of the higher points of the run here real quick. We are still, again, with Bitcoin really, really close to an all-time high. Now, again, on the short term, it was able to break down just a little bit, but still, it was able to break down from 119.5 to 118.3 or 118.1. It's still basically peak. I see camera has decided to break itself again. Oh. Yeah, so it's an interesting situation regardless. Also, guys, I will say this. I am thinking here of doing more videos on a secondary channel. So if you're wondering right now, you're watching this, you think, hey, Dusty, why have you stopped uploading? It is probably because my channel is, just got a strike, and I will have to either leave a comment at my last video or the video before that. I will probably place a comment over on Twitter, right? So if you're wondering, where did I go if I stopped uploading all of a sudden? It is because YouTube took it down and I can't upload for a week. Because again, if YouTube strikes you, they could take my channel down as well. Could happen any day. Right now, they seem to be going after crypto people, crypto channels. If it happens, please just check over on my X. And right now, I'll be posting multiple times a day. Because the market's going so crazy, I want to update every single time something happens. If all of a sudden I'm gone, you do not see me for like 24 hours, it's not on choice, all right? It's impossible that was a choice because I'm here all day looking at my charts. So if there's no update for like 14 hours, that is crazy, all right? So just keep that in the back of your head. Okay, 24 hours, let's say. Take maybe a look at X/Twitter. Maybe see if I uploaded on a new channel because I'll probably do that. I'm thinking of either using 5-minute crypto for it or just making a completely new channel. Not sure. But again, it's not by choice. Unfortunately, they're taking crypto channels down by the lots right now. Not sure what I can do right there. Somebody says, fix your stream, and another person says, it's cutting out a bit. I don't know, guys. Steven says, are we dumping a little or what after Powell? The funny thing is, if Powell actually gets out, theoretically speaking, Trump is saying that this is where the market starts moving upwards, right? Isn't that also kind of funny? Use a lower quality in the camera? Yeah, I think it's just internet here is a bit mediocre. Aldrich says, just let us know when we'll repost. I really, really appreciate that. Just know that. He sounds like someone with the hiccups. You talking about me? Wait. And his replacement is also bald and look. Gary reminds me of Mr. Burns from The Simpsons. Yeah, it does. I don't know what's up with you guys today. Happy Sunday, everyone. You know what? In and out. Hey, in and out. Welcome back. The volume keeps cutting in and out. All right, you know what, guys? I'm gonna try see what I can do about that. I don't know if it keeps cutting in and out. It's not comfortable to watch. All right, it was whatever I wanted to say for the stream anyway. If you guys enjoyed it, you know, stick around and maybe see you guys again in another one somewhere later today, because that was about what I wanted to say. Just wanted to quickly update you all on the market right now and say, hey, I'm still excited about it. I'll be back probably in a few hours with another video update or something like that. So, you know, I want to quickly say thank you for watching. If something happens, I'll be back with another update, all right? Right now, the strategy is still the same. These coins are doing really, really well, but really, when you look at it from a Bitcoin angle, none of them have done really that well. Like, we're still quite low. This is Tron versus the dollar. Like, this one has gone astronomically crazy already, which is why I wanted to open a bot, because still, historically speaking, it's still worth it to get into it. But mostly, think about my strategy, what I just said about Bitcoin. Every time we bought into a Bitcoin pump, it would have worked out pretty beautifully for us. Again, if you didn't see it, just look back a little bit. Every single time Bitcoin took out its previous high, it was able to go for a pretty massive rally afterwards. I'm going to cover this in a video in a few hours probably, because I think this is actually one of the things people are not thinking about too much. That from a risk-reward perspective, it's won every single time in the past. There's a very high likelihood it'll happen again, mostly based on the other charts as well. The fact that this is where the market usually picks up. And I still think that Bitcoin's dominance, like I said 2 weeks ago or so, is going to start falling from here. And I'm bullish on altcoins exactly at this point. But yeah, that's about it for right now, boys. See you again in another one. Peace out.